Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to speak to you guys about a question I'm frequently asked. How can I cure my ADHD? How can I fix my ADHD? How can I cure my child's ADHD? I get a lot of those questions, and sometimes I forget that not everyone is on the same page of understanding ADHD as I am on, as the community is on. You know, there are some people who have ADHD themselves that believe that you can cure it. So yeah, I'm going to just explain a little bit about what I believe and some research that I've got. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it down to you guys to make your own decisions. But yeah, let's just jump straight into this video. So the simple answer to can ADHD be cured is no, it can't. You might say, like, why not? Because it's not a disease, it's a neurological condition, disorder. It's not a disease, it's not an illness like antibiotics can cure it, take it away, like a cough illness. It's not something that needs pain medication. You know, it's a neurological difference in our brain. Our brains are just wired differently. Although some people might see that as like, oh well, it's not that bad. Well, it is quite bad. It can be quite bad. It can impact people's lives in all different severities, in all different variations. People are affected differently by their ADHD. So although ADHD itself cannot be cured, that doesn't mean that you can't learn skills and coping mechanisms that can help you manage your ADHD traits or symptoms. With the right support and the right people around you and the right knowledge, you can start building your tool bag of all different coping strategies, coping mechanisms. You will build this toolkit of all of your own coping strategies, the ways that you cope. You can learn this. You can learn ways to cope and manage your ADHD. This doesn't mean it's cured. No, this is just how to manage. It doesn't cure it, it doesn't take it away. Yes, it may be able to take the edge off and make things slightly easier. The more techniques and skills that you learn, you might find some that really benefit you and can take off a lot of that kind of executive dysfunction. If you can really kind of grasp and learn these skills, then some people go on to really kind of just basically own their ADHD, just like move forward and not let the ADHD kind of stop them. But that doesn't mean the people that can't learn these skills, the people that might not have the right support, or they might not have the right people, they might not have the right knowledge or the right diagnosis, that doesn't mean these people can't own their ADHD, they can't move forward, they can't boss their ADHD. No, because there are other ways that you can learn to manage. So you might be thinking, Molly, what are those options? What are the tools? What other things can I do to help me manage my ADHD? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. So one of the first kind of treatments that I'm going to share with you is ADHD medication. Now, this isn't for everyone. Medication is not something that will work for everyone. Not everyone will have the benefits that I have had with medication. Not everyone will be lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to afford to have medication or to try medication. Not everyone has, not everyone has the knowledge or support to understand what medication they should try. Not everyone is as fortunate as, as what I am and what other people are who have the opportunity to try medication. I know that. But what I just want to say is this is a good option for those of you who do have that opportunity. And if you do, then it's totally up to you whether or not you try this. This isn't the only option. I do believe it's one of the first kind of options that they give you when you are diagnosed, as it was the first and kind of the only option I really got when I was first diagnosed with ADHD. I was told that I don't have to, but I wasn't given any other kind of, like, I didn't see any other option other than to try medication. I was totally against it, if I'm honest, at the beginning. I didn't want to try medication, but I felt like it was the only thing I could do that was going to make my life easier. I tried it and thankfully it's really worked well for me, but I also know others that have tried it and it's really not been great for them. So the next option is CBT. So this is cognitive behavioural therapy. I actually did have like a little bit of this when I was a lot younger, and for me, because I was undiagnosed, I didn't have any benefits from the therapy sessions that I had. So I can't speak from experience as in since being diagnosed, but when I was a little bit younger, it didn't have a huge benefit on me. But I do feel like now I'm older and I am aware of my diagnosis, it may work better, and in the future I will be open to maybe starting some therapy sessions, because I feel like I've seen so many people speak so openly about kind of being scared and vulnerable to start therapy, and that's where I'm at. It's never been an option because I've just always been a little bit scared and a bit kind of cautious about allowing myself to open up and be that vulnerable and open to someone I don't know, because in the past I've been hurt, and I think it's just kind of like this boundary and kind of like protector I put up because I just don't know whether I want to allow someone else in. Does that make sense? I think it does. Anyway, that's how I feel. But CBT is another option. So I'm just going to kind of give you a quick brief I'm just going to share with you kind of what it is really quickly. I'm going to read from my phone. Because I want to make sure I get all of this correct so that you guys have a good understanding of what it is. So cognitive behavioural therapy can help you cope with the challenges you face with your ADHD at school, work and in relationships. This can work whether or not you're on medication. So even if you're on medication, you can still do this. This is still totally viable. Even if you're not on medication, you can still try it. So this type of psychotherapy teaches you how to identify and change thoughts that work against you. The idea behind CBT is that your thoughts influence your emotions, which in turn affect your behaviour. Negative thinking and behaviour patterns are easy to develop. CBT helps you identify these patterns and work towards changing them. So if you feel like that is something that you want to try, great. I don't really have any advice on how to go about finding a therapist. I think the best thing to do would be to reach out to like your GP, your doctor, or I suppose if you want to go private or reach out on your own. I mean, there should be loads of you know, help on Google if you Google kind of like your local ones, I guess. I've never really looked for it, so yeah. So the next option of treatment I can give to you is lifestyle changes and like natural remedies. Now, I'm not really convinced by this because my mum and dad never really let me eat any kind of sweets or E-numbers because I was a hyperactive child anyway, and they didn't allow me to have anything with loads and loads of sugar in it because when I was younger, growing up, E-numbers were like, it makes your kids go hyper. My parents were like,
damn, my girl's already hyper. I do not want her going any more hyper than what she is.
So my parents didn't really allow me to have E-numbers or anything with like loads of sugar in it. And it really, like, growing up, when I got older, I was eating and drinking more kind of sugary things because I was getting older. My parents couldn't really stop me. So both ends of it, there were no huge benefits. I was still hyperactive. I was still very ADHD. Like, it didn't cure it. It didn't get rid of it. But, you know, that's my experience. But I'm going to share with you some advice that I've got from Google and from watching TikTok videos of what other people suggest. It says on here, ADHD can positively be influenced by changing your kind of lifestyle factors and supplementing and adding in more like vitamins, I guess. So the one part that I really agree with is improving your relationship with sleep. I totally get that. When I do not have enough sleep, my ADHD is negatively impacted, like, and affected. So another little bit on here says people with ADHD can benefit from having a healthy, balanced diet. Many ADHDers report symptom management by maintaining a balanced diet. So let me just say one thing there, right? When you take ADHD medication, right, a stimulant, if you take the medication that I'm on, you might experience this too. My appetite is so far decreased, I don't want to eat anything, and by the time it's like worn off, I haven't eaten anything or even really drunk anything all day. So when my medication wears off, I'm just like a hungry monster, and I'm just like, I've got the munchies, like I'm eating anything that I can. So yeah, when it comes to like having a good management, it's really difficult when you're on medication. Like, it seriously is. And when I was off medication, I was binge eating. My impulse control over food was absolutely diabolical. So if you're like me, it's easier said than done, because I can't do it and never been able to do it. I just couldn't build that healthy relationship with food. I just couldn't. But I do know that there are some amazing ADHD like dietitians and nutritionists that share amazing stuff on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There are some great people to follow. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I'm able to do right now. Like, I don't feel ready to, and I don't feel, at the moment with the medication I'm on, I just don't feel like I have the time to do that. Like, I just don't. If I eat something, great. If I don't eat something, I don't care. Like, I will just eat when I'm hungry, and if I'm not hungry, then I'll move on. You know, when you're on medication, I just kind of balance out the good and the bad, and sometimes the pros of my medication just outweigh eating. I'd rather be focused, being able to get on with work and do stuff, than worry about what I've eaten and what I haven't eaten in the day. That's just my prerogative anyway. So it's all down to you guys, really. But healthy lifestyle changes and kind of like supplement and nutrition kind of supplements, that could be an option. Definitely go speak to someone in like Holland and Barrett, Boots. This is England, so I'm not sure what it's like elsewhere in the world. Just speak to a professional, a doctor, a dietitian, and a nutritionist. They're the best people to speak to, not Molly, because Molly just lives off Pringles. Like I say though, these are not the only options. There are so many other options out there. Different types of therapy that I don't know of, because I don't feel confident enough to like speak about them, because I don't know enough about them. There's ADHD coaches out there available. Again, it's all on the money, really. If you have the money to be able to afford these things, then you're super lucky. I don't have the money. I'd absolutely love an ADHD coach or someone that could just mentor me and help me, but I don't have that type of money, and these things do cost money. So options are totally kind of dependent on you as an individual. Some work, some don't work. Some ADHDers have different experiences, and medication may not be able to help everyone, but it helps some. Lifestyle changes and diet changes could help some, but doesn't help all. It's totally a spectrum, and whether or not it works for you is kind of like, it is, you have to try it to know. But yeah, I just wanted to give you some examples of the options and just clear up that you cannot cure ADHD, because why am I not cured if you can cure it? Why are so many people still being diagnosed with ADHD and it not being cured? Like, I don't understand. So in a simple answer, I believe that you cannot cure ADHD. You can help manage and cope with it by changing certain things or taking medication, but that doesn't mean it's cured. It's still there. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for joining me for a hot chocolate. That is like freezing cold now because I forgot I had it and I've been talking too long. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.